So, as you know, I've been doing a time travel binge. And I'm trying to find 10 time travel books for my If Then that's coming up in a couple of weeks. And I found this author, and it doesn't show up, but I'll put the picture up. But I found this author, Katy Baker. And I'm still trying to learn how to use this sucker, by the way. Oh, and I highly, highly recommend you get one of these doohickeys. They work great. That way you don't have to hold it all the time. But I still prefer book than this. If you're traveling, this. But if you're home, I want a book. So, and welcome to the D. Louise book series. I'm Christina, K-R-S-T-I-N-A. This is where I read books, talk about books, no special effects, no theme music, none of that fancy fancy stuff going on here. And I found the series, and I read book 1, which was Dreams of a Highlander. And then I got sucked into the Karen Marie Money books, and I kept waiting for this Gretchen to show up, and she never showed up. And I was like, oh, whatever. So I finished the Karen Marie Money books and was going to start looking for maybe one more time travel book to do for the channel. And I turned back on my Kindle, and there was Gretchen. She's the second book in the Katy Arch Through Time Katy Baker series. So these are very, very quick reads. I could probably do 2 or 3 or 4 of them in a day. It's only 200 pages. So Darcy was in the first book, and Darcy met Quinn. Darcy, this lady, what's her name? Irene. I think it's Irene. Irene approaches Darcy. Darcy's a little burnt out, so she's taking this trip to Scotland, and she meets Irene, and Irene gives her a travel brochure and says, hey, if you want to find your heart's desire, follow this brochure. And the brochure leads her to a cave, and when she comes out of the cave and she goes to this arch thing, she gets transported back in time. I think it's 1500. I don't remember precisely. And so she ends up meeting Quinn, and the whole story of the first book. I hit this. Come on. Dreams of a Highlander are all about Darcy and Quinn. So the second book, at the end of the first book, Darcy asks Irene, when Irene says, hey, look, you can stay or you can go back now. The thing I wanted you to do is done. So do you want to go back, or do you want to go you want to return? Or you want to stay here? So Darcy's like, I'll stay here, but could you please tell my friend Gretchen that I'm okay? So Irene goes to tell Gretchen she's okay and offers Gretchen the same thing. Go to Scotland, take this trip, you'll see Darcy. So she goes to Scotland, does the brochures. She ends up going back in time, and she meets E-W-A-N. Ewan, however you want to say it. And Ewan, I can't say it right, has been estranged from his family. Him and his father had a fight years ago, and his father kicked him out. And he's been living with another family for a while now. His father has since died, and the family is calling him back because this evil guy, Richard DeClaire, wants vengeance on the McFarlanes because the McFarlanes killed his relative. So he's after them severely. But it was a mere use situation. It was self-defense. But Richard is conspiring to have the entire clan go after the McFarlanes, and he's manipulating them. He's planting false evidence. He's having people tell lies. He's having people go, messengers tell lies, couriers tell lies, everybody tell lies that McFarlanes are mounting an army and they're doing all this stuff, and the clan is believing it all. And so Ewan comes back and he finds all this stuff out. And his sister's sort of kind of leading the clan. She's the eldest until he comes back, and then he becomes the eldest. But this Richard de Clare is wooing her and trying to marry her so that he becomes the laird. And so she's a little, this Meredith is a little on the weak side. She just is. So Ewan comes back, and he comes back with Gretchen, and Gretchen's a little, I don't know what to do, but she's a cook. She's a professional cook is what she does. So she ends up in the kitchen cooking, and some of them people are like, "What are you doing here? You're not a maid. You're not a servant. You're higher up." But this is where she's comfortable. And Richard de Clare comes after her a couple of times. He tries to rape her, attack her, come after her. And she fights him off the few times. So all this stuff is going on. And there was this one point in the novel where I would have called it quits. It was the stone that broke the camel's back. Because Gretchen, Ewan has had people looking through the villages for this Darcy person, and no one's coming forth saying they know who Darcy is. The servants, however, have underground information going back from their place to the McFarlanes, and the people come back from the following, "Oh yeah, Darcy's over here." So Gretchen wants to go see Darcy. So Darcy and Gretchen meet and reunite and discuss what's going on with the clans. And the McFarlanes can prove they have written documentation that Richard de Clare is doing this evil stuff and he's planning it, and it's all false. And Gretchen's on her way back from Darcy's, and she gets captured, and they label her a traitor, and they say all these things about her. Lies. But what bugged me was that Ewan believed him. He is supposed to be in love with this woman. He doesn't even give her a chance to present the evidence that she has in her pocket. The Richard de Clare wants her hung immediately, or stoned, or put in the dungeon. And Ewan has her locked in her room instead. But that really irritated the life out of me, that he did not believe her. He's supposed to love her, and he's known her a while now. Time has transpired. And he doesn't believe her. He believes this evil Richard de Clare guy, who he's known just as long. He didn't know them before this. And it's the mob mentality. The mob has gotten carried away with Richard de Clare's false lies and all this stuff. And finally, eventually, things sort of kind of work out. But that would bug me. How could you even contemplate marrying this guy if he does not believe you? That just irritated, and she just forgave him. And she said, "Oh, that's okay. No way. He's gonna pay for it the rest of his life." And Richard de Clare ends up trying to kidnap her and rape her again, and grabs her into the church, and it's a whole thing. It's a good story. It was a really quick read. Like I said, it only took 2 hours to go through. I'm not sure. I might do one today. I have a Patterson hanging out there. I might get to that one first. But I really do want to get this If Then out of the way. And I want to finish. Well, there's 17 books in this series, so I might just go ahead and do the If Then anyway. But it's a cute series. I'm enjoying it. I want to see where she takes it. I want to see who else knows Darcy and Gretchen from the future. Because at the end of the book, Irene gives Gretchen a chance to talk to her mother. Her mother and her family are still living. And she's telling her mother she's going to go away for a while to Scotland. Her mother doesn't know that she might never see this chick again, her daughter. And her mother didn't seem to, oh, okay. Like, okay. But it is a cute, I like the Gretchen and Darcy reunion. I liked most of the book. I would have preferred Ian to take a leadership role in his clan and not let this Richard guy roll all over him. I would have liked him to kick Richard out. Yeah, it was a plot line. But I still would have liked any of my other guys. Lindsay Sands guys. Karen Marie Moning's guys. Who else has got Highlanders? Connie Mason's got Highlanders. Who else? Somebody else over here's got Highlanders. Sands, McAllister. Uh, there's a few others that have Highlanders. And none of those would have been the wimp that Ian is in taking back his clan. You're the leader. You're the eldest child. You're supposed to be laird. And he's a wimp. He lets Declare roll all over him. He needs to put his foot down and take control, but he doesn't. And that's another thing that irritates the life out of me about this series. But anyways, we'll see what happens with the next one. It's book 3, Echoes of a Highlander. And we'll see if it ties into these two or not, or if whoever the hero or heroine is interacts with Darcy and Gretchen. We'll have to see what happens. Have a good one.